Hi everybody, it's Mrs. Gallagher again with another idea which involves some ink blowing, and this is inspired by Chinese ink blowing art and the lovely Chinese cherry blossom which we're all seeing on the trees at the moment. So a bit of springtime art for us. So to get started with this, we want to get a little bit of Chinese background scenery. So for that you are just going to need your trusty pencils, and we want to do the edge of a lake first. I think it's always nice to have some water in the background to make it a relaxing picture with some spiky mountains. So I'm just going to sketch the edge of a lake here, like here we go, with some reflections going horizontally across it like that, and then some spiky mountains above. We don't have those shaped mountains in our country. Really tall, sort of pointy, jaggedy mountains they have sometimes. There you go. Around the edge of the lake there. And then a few little cracks in the mountains. Going to put some trees and things onto those in a minute. So sketching up the background. There you go. Okay, and then as I said, you want to have a few sort of fir tree type things at the back. So I like to do these zigzaggy lines like that, and you get some little trees hanging on the side of the mountain as they do. So lots of sort of firs, but also you get these weeping Chinese cherry blossom trees on the mountains as well. So we can have some of those weeping over on the mountain like that. I don't like doing things on their own. They look better in little groups, to be honest. One on the water down here. Some bushes, there you go. And then, of course, we need a weeping willow, probably, something like that. Weeping down over the water. I'm doing this awfully quickly so you can see. So far there we've got some mountains with little trees and things hanging on them. We need a Chinese building, I think, to complete this. So I'm going to find a spot. There we go. And Chinese buildings, kind of pagodas, tend to go up in 3 layers. So something like that. Okay. And then wider at the bottom or something. It's a silhouette of a building on the top of the mountain there. And then let's get some water reflections. A little bit of background colour is always nice. So I'm using an overhand pencil grip to use the side of the pencil and flick it across the page. Now don't colour everything in. It's important to leave white to have some nice light reflections, okay? A little bit in the sky as well, I think, because the water's always the same colour as the sky. Although perhaps with a little bit of greenery from the plants as well. It's never just blue, is it? So a nice mixture of greens and blues, and then shadows from those mountains coming down, creating some vertical wiggles. There's the tree reflection there into the water. Tree reflections. And finally, I'm doing this awfully fast, but I think we need a little boat on the water. Here we go. With the little triangular hats. 3 little hats. 3 people in silhouette in the boat, maybe with their oars. There we go. And of course, if I've got a boat on the water, I'm going to need a reflection for that as well. 3 people, there we go. So that's on the water there. Darken it up around the edges. A few more dark streaks of reflection. We put a little bit of colour in shadows into the mountain behind. These are nice smudgy watercolour pencils. I love them. Let's get some colour on those mountains there. A little bit here. And a little bit of brown if I can find it, just to warm it up a little bit. There we go. My Rocky Mountains. Right, very quick background. Done, as you can see. So now what we want to get is the main part of a tree coming up and over the side in black paint with the branches going across the scenery and hanging down over the water, because that's the next step. So I've got some black, very watery black paint mixed here, and I'm just going to start by putting some sort of knobbly old roots across the front here. There you go. So it's nice to have that running across the front, and then up it goes. Now, cherry trees are all jaggedy, bumpy type things. They're not straight tree trunks like oaks and things. So they have really sharp, strange angles in them. So I'm going to bring that one up and over, and then start taking some main branches over the scenery like this. They always start thicker at the beginning, and then they get thinner, and then you get these funny angles coming off them like an L. Look, L shaped. They even bend backwards sometimes. There you go. Lots of branches. They get smaller and smaller, don't they, as they go towards the end, like that. Okay, going quickly. Some of them coming across the front there, up and over. It's like it's been blown from one side across the other way. Right. There we go. Going across the picture. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some extra paint on here, because I'm pouring it on actually. There you go. And it's going down into those branches that I've already created, so that hopefully now if I give it a bit of a blow in a minute with a straw, then the colour will travel along the lines I've created. Fingers crossed, let's hope this works. Right, so I'm going to turn my page and follow the paint. Oh yes, I'm quite pleased with that actually. Can you see how blowing it has just created lots of lovely little tiny lines there as well? So now I've got my cherry tree across it. Ideally you would wait a few minutes for that to dry now, but I am now going to use 3 different shades of sort of pinky red and dab on some blossom onto those branches. So I'm going to take my nice pinky red there, and I'm trying not too much to mix it with the black, which of course my black is still wet. So putting it there. I have covered my mountains a bit, but you could still see them. So clusters, don't forget to go on the edge. It's quite nice if it hangs down over the water too, like that. God, look, it's flicking. Let's do some flicking. Oh, I should be wearing my painting apron, really. There we go. Dab it on. Shh. Right, that's got that colour. Oh, I'm loving it. Right. Pretty, pretty cherry blossom. Okay. That's, get that on there. Now I've got my middle pink. So I'm going to dab that on as well. Goodness gracious, that was a blob. Right, there you go. Take a bit of that off. Blob it on. Okay. That's a case of putting too much on the brush there. Right, we got that. And then finally, my palest colour. So I've got a really pale pink, so 3 different shades of pink there, which of course you make with a bit of red and white. Make different shades of pink if you add a bit of yellow into it as well. There you go. Blob it up into bunches like that. Oh, so pretty. I've got to love springtime sunshine, even when we're in isolation. There we go. Oh yeah, there we go. So we have now got a cherry blossom tree, which is coming across the scene beautifully there. So all we need to do to finish it really is personalise it with writing, as the Chinese do, down the side here. Now, I can't write in that language, but I'm going to invent something. But if you go on the internet, you could look up the writing for hope or love or welcome or spring or whatever. I'm not sure what this says, but I'm going to copy that one again. So I need a tiny little brush, and I'm going to now personalise it. Here we go. So put my message on the side with some foreign writing. Wonder what this does say. I'm sure it was something like hope. Maybe somebody can tell me. So there is my Chinese writing, and I like to finish it off by personalising it with my fingerprint, because nobody else has my fingerprint. So wipe that finger and then put my initials on it. There we go, Mrs. G. And just to finish off, I think I'm going to just put the shore there with some dots, the sand on the side of the shore. Lovely, and some birds flying off into the distance. There we go. And there you have it. A cherry blossom picture to celebrate spring. Enjoy. Good luck, everybody.